Economic downturns are a natural event which occurs in various cycles throughout history all around the world. In recent years, however, these have been agitated, created, manipulated, prolonged, hidden, controlled, and every scheme possible to make this situation even worse. The question I ask is, will the US be able to avoid recession in 2016? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Now, of course, the question I'm asking is officially, they have never got out of the recession from 2008, but I'd really like to see the government start to admit it. That would be great. Let's move into this here as we look into the US in particular, but I want to connect that into the whole world. This article is very good, and it also has a connected video that I recommend everyone watch. It's very short. It's only a minute or two, and basically shows you how the US dollar spread all across the world. It's very interesting to see it all take place. You can see the different pegs for the different countries, and you could see the different countries which have adopted the US dollar as their official currency. It's pretty interesting, and like I said, pretty quick as well. How long will the US dollar persist as the global reserve currency, and what could possibly replace it? I talked about it in my book. I have a chapter about it, but essentially what we're looking at here is the fact that the US dollar wasn't always the reserve currency. Most people today don't realize the fact that, yes, there were other reserve currencies, and just before it, before the Bretton Woods Agreement following World War II, the pound sterling had that crown. But things changed, and as I'll explain in a moment here, it didn't change overnight. When the pound sterling was the dominant currency, more than half of all world trade was invoiced in pound sterling. British banks were expanding. Britain was the number one foreign investor in the world. Eventually, other countries started putting up tariffs and protectionist policies, and the sterling lost its dominance. It goes on to talk about the situation now. Will China be involved in this? Will they be the next reserve currency? And, they may very well be. But what I would suggest, once again, as I always do, is that this is not the type of thing that will happen overnight. There can be another Bretton Woods type agreement which does make big changes. But you don't go from having a reserve currency to not having a reserve currency overnight. It's not simply the flip of a switch. It has to be adopted by other countries. Let's move on to this here. I don't believe this is going to happen, but I would really, really love to see it. The California is Not For Sale initiative brings a level of transparency never before seen in politics. Our proposed bill will require politicians to wear the logos of their top 10 donors anytime they speak on the floor, just like a NASCAR driver would for his sponsors. So isn't that amazing? Imagine you have an individual like Obama up on stage when he's talking about all of those bankers getting the bailouts and you guys deserve better, you guys this and that. Meanwhile, he's got JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs all over his jacket. That would be incredible. Like I said, I really don't see it happening, but this is the type of thing that we need to be pushing for. This is the actual document itself if you're interested in looking at it. Name all sponsors, Candidate Accountability Reform Initiative. Check it out if you're interested. Always, as always, the links are in the description of the video. This article is out of Bloomberg. Everyone's talking about oil. Oil being subdued right now is making real headlines. Commercial crude stocks fell by nearly 6 million barrels last week, which sounds bullish until you remember one thing. Oil inventories usually fall in December. That's right, you have traders going on algorithms, whether that's a human trader or more likely some sort of high-frequency trading computer algorithm. So they use these things like seasonal investments, and they say, look, December, that's just the way it is. It's going to go down. So those computers are already pre-programmed with that decision. A few things that they mention here. What's more, if you look all the way back to 1920 when the EIA's data on crude oil stocks begins, December stands out for having the biggest drops in oil inventories of any month. It's fake. Does anyone get that? Does everyone get that? I hope so. This is fake. What they try to tell us about, December just happens to be low. I don't believe that for a second. How can you have bull markets and bear markets, but a particular month is in a decline all the time? These are computer algorithms. Lower down in the article, it basically says that January, they'll rise 3.2 million barrels, and that's dating back into 1920 using that data. Whatever they want to say, that's fine. I'm saying it's all fake. Top M&A deals, combined employees. So showing you here that these mergers and acquisitions have been going on and companies have been buying each other out. Total employees of top 10 M&A deals, you're looking at over 1 million. That implies over 110,000 layoffs in these 10 deals alone. You're going to have hundreds of thousands of people being laid off. And guess what? These people are not going to be able to find work that they want. Some of them will, but most of them will not. The jobs are not there. That's the whole purpose of these mergers and acquisitions, is to save money. They take in the company and then they slowly start firing people. That's the way this works. Look forward to that in the near future. This is connected in with what I've done in the previous article, but essentially you're looking at the Wall Street forecast for 2016. These individuals, they're all saying, the year-end target 2,200 on the S&P, 2,250, but all within that range there. And what I would have to say is, we'll do the same type of thing in a year from now. I'll make a video, and you'll see these same people or any of the other talking heads out there suggesting to you that these are all wrong. They're always wrong. Every single one of them, they're all wrong. Every single time. But people just keep tuning in over and over. They're a broken record, and for some reason, they continuously get brought up on CNN and CNBC and BNN and all these other stations. And they make predictions, and then these stock traders and everything start talking about it as if it's real information, and they actually go based on what these individuals say. This is Emperor Obama. He's on vacation right now in Hawaii. Good for him. 4:35 p.m. Obama's all smiles. He's on the golf course. Then 12:30 p.m. later, basically they made a call to the Texas governor and said that, he offers his condolences for those who lost their lives, those who lost their homes in the tornadoes. And then, of course, he's back to all smiles again. If you scroll down here, you can read the transcript. Basically, he's back to all smiles again. He's back on the golf course. This is an individual who's simply working for those corporations, like I talked about earlier, doesn't care at all about these individuals. This is a business, but guess what? It's not the business that he necessarily profits from. It's for those donors, those who control and manipulate the politicians. In my book, I talked about something very, very important. It's the message of not only this video, it's about all my videos. This is from the Money GPS Hot Point, which occurs only a few times throughout the book. It's a very special point. Rearrange your thinking. It's not the number printed on the bills in your wallet that matters. It's what that cash will buy you. If asset prices are rising, you can invest in those assets and you will have your wealth increase too. Governments are pursuing policies that devalue their currencies in relation to real goods. So get rid of your cash and buy those goods that will make you wealthy. But I'm not talking about wealth like all these billionaires. I'm talking about being able to support yourself Don't think it's a get-rich-quick scheme type of thing. I'm talking about protecting your wealth that you have, even if it's just a small little pot. That's what I'm talking about here. Real wealth, the wealth that means something to you, whether that's in storable food, precious metals, real estate, having a little, even though I say get rid of your cash, I'm really talking about your bank account, having any savings in cash, having maybe a little bit of cash, having things that are real, that are tangible, that you can actually touch. Keep those things. Get rid of the bank account, get rid of the mutual funds and all of these other silly things that never will allow you to profit in reality over the long term. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. Last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you'll find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. If you head over to Amazon, they have this look inside feature. It allows you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care.